Good morning. Hi, this is Travis from the National Weather Service, and this is your weather hazard briefing for Friday, August 30th. Looking at the current water vapor imagery, you can see that we have more of a zonal flow over us. The moisture and trough that we had yesterday has kind of moved to our east. There will be some residual moisture. We'll talk about that in across the area for a chance of showers and thunderstorms, and we do have that breezy flow again in that zonal flow. The next system you can see is out here, and that's looks to move over the top of the ridge probably Monday into Tuesday, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Looking at the GFS short term, you can see that it shows that zonal flow over. It's just a chance of showers, thunderstorms, maybe over Island Park, but there is a chance elsewhere along the Wyoming border. You see ridging builds in Saturday and Sunday, we become more of that zonal flow. Southwest flow ahead of it becomes quite breezy. You see the dry conditions there is that red as well. It becomes really dry as it becomes pretty hot in that southwest flow. And I'll show you those temperatures, and there's that trough that goes Monday into Tuesday, and continuing the breezy conditions. But as you can see the surface depiction here, surface map, high pressure over us for the most part. There is a little bit, again, the showers over the Island Park area. It doesn't look like we have enough residual moisture for some mountains across the Wyoming border, even in the eastern central mountains here for the afternoon, maybe in the northern Snake Plain. They won't last very long. They'll be early afternoon. We do have high pressure ridging that will build in quite nicely by late afternoon into early evening. We do, again, here's that probability of precip, mainly the Island Park area, but small chances of mountains across our southeast highlands and the eastern central mountains. Max temperature today above normal. Not as quite as hot as yesterday, a couple degrees cooler, but still 5 to 10 degrees above normal. And our min RH, you can see that we did have some recovery, but there is some critical areas across the Arco Desert. The rest of our area seems to be, for the most part, above the critical values, but not real high. Our wind gusts, for the most part, below critical values. There's a little bit there at the Arco Desert. The winds should drop off pretty quickly today, late this afternoon, early evening, as the high pressure kind of builds in, and that zonal flow kind of goes away. You can see we do have more dominant high pressure on Saturday. Dry conditions. You can see our temperatures are slightly warmer than today, Friday, and then our min RH does go down. You can see a lot of areas starting to get in that red, critical values below 15%, particularly in the valleys. And then our wind gusts are below critical values, maybe slightly approaching it across Arco Desert, but for the most part below critical values. And here's the surface depiction, surface map for Sunday. Still, again, high pressure dominant. Remember, we'll be in that southwest flow. We'll have some breezy winds pop up, and in that southwest flow, we get temperatures from our south, warmer air. The temperatures will rise above normal, 10 to 15 degrees above normal. Likely record. So we have multiple climate spots kind of forecasted to hit the records, at least a degree or so above. And then as far as our min RH, you can see it is even drier, well below the critical values, even in some of the mountain areas across the area. It's going to be very dry, critical relative humidity, and then critical winds as well. You can see across the central mountains in particular. Likely need a red flag for these areas and potentially some other areas as well, but at least the central mountains for now. Potentially some of the other zones too. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. For our long term, you can see there's that southwest flow early Monday, and then that system moving to our north, and then ridging building in on Tuesday. There is the models now are showing there's a good amount of moisture moves up Wednesday afternoon into Thursday, out ahead of this low. The Europeans not quite on board with this yet, but you can see that would be a really wet late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday if that were to happen. Looking at our max temperatures on Monday, you can see that they're still above normal, not quite as bad as the 10 to 15 degrees, but still in that 5 to 10 degrees above normal. And then a min RH is still well below the 15%. We'll likely need red flags for almost all zones for gusty winds and low relative humidity that are critical. You can see those winds, maybe just the exception of zone 427 down here, but the rest fire zone and the rest of these areas all look to be quite windy and minimum relative humidity below the 15%. So that concludes the brief. If you have any questions, give us a call at this number. Thank you.